Let's be very clear. People may be giving you straight answers about what happened in the Middle East today in Gaza, but I can't. I cannot confirm the reports. I see them. I'm looking at the video, but what started the stampede, who started firing first, that is unclear as far as I can ascertain. But we're going to have the conversation right now with people who may know better. Here's the fact. More than 100 Palestinians who were desperate for aid are now dead. And that's because of what you're seeing on your screen, okay? At some point, they were chasing the aid trucks, okay? The desperation is palpable. It's obvious. I know you're seeing online that it's okay in Gaza. There's plenty of food and stuff. Every indication I have is that that is not true for far too many. So anyway, gunfire breaks out, becomes a stampede. All this swarming around the aid trucks. Then there are these conflicting reports on why the stampede and who started firing, but bloodshed was all over. Now, aid is a huge problem that doesn't need to be this way, okay? Israel announced last week that 14,000 aid trucks have entered Gaza since the start of the war. That sounds like a lot, right? That means fewer than 100 trucks a day. Well, you may say that still sounds a lot. Here's the context. Gaza needed 500 aid trucks a day just to survive. You know, nobody was living large in Gaza. And that was before the war. The need has only increased. And yet the aid is 20% of what it was. And in northern Gaza, where this took place, they went an entire month without any aid trucks, okay? Israel had just started facilitating aid deliveries there. Only about 50 trucks had gotten in before today, and now they're going to say they're going to want to shut it down. Experts are warning 1 in 4 civilians in Gaza are about to slip into famine. Even more innocent Palestinians, especially the young ones, will die. Let's bring in visiting professor at the University of Miami, Palestinian-Israeli journalist, Rula Jebreal. Rula, my friend, it's good to see you again.
Good evening, Chris.
What matters to you about what we saw today?
To start taking actions, to start stopping this starvation. The use of starvation as a weapon of war is an illegitimate, whether it's used in Ukraine, in Syria, by the Israelis. We cannot stand by as World Health Organization, every human rights organization, every humanitarian organization are showing us footage of people who are so hungry that they are running for basically a bag of flour, of bread. They're basically, you know, I seen an interview today, Chris, of a father like you who had this bag of flour full of blood. He was injured, interviewed in a hospital. The interview was aired on Al Jazeera. And he basically said, if I die, at least my wife and 2 daughters can maybe eat. They've been not eating for weeks. Again, it's about humanitarian international law. It's about never using starvation, because what we've been seeing, especially in the northern Gaza, the weaponization of this starvation against children has been dying. And we know that we never seen anything like this. I covered the war in Yemen. I covered the war in Ukraine. I seen Somalia and Mogadishu. What we see in Gaza are those exact crises, with a difference that Israel is a U.S. ally, and America is enabling this.
What about the points of pushback, which are Israel is doing more in terms of aid than you see in general open warfare, and Hamas steals a lot of the stuff, so you got to be careful, and it is difficult to get aid in and out for a number of reasons. So it's not that they don't want the aid in, it's that they can't get it in. Do you accept those points?
Absolutely not. None of them are accurate or true. And I'll tell you why, Chris. The International Court of Justice ordered Israel last month to basically increase the aid for starving civilians in Gaza. Israel decreased the aid by 50%, stopped all aid to northern Gaza. We are not only on the brink of famine, we are already in a stage of famine. 800 people today were sent to a hospital. The hospital system collapsed. All of them are not only starving. We will see a rate of people who will die by starvation exceed Trump, the rate of people dying by bombs and bullets. I mean, if we don't wake up in front of this humanitarian catastrophe that is man-made, by the way, this is a deliberate strategy used by the Netanyahu government that today has a minister bragging, like Ben-Gvir, saying, well done to the Israeli forces to shoot on people. And he is basically saying, now I will cut all aid. At a certain point, the international community need to take a stand.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.